Hi, I'm Ryan Andersen. I'm the head coach and offensive coordinator for the Copenhagen Tomahawks, and today we're going to be talking about a systematic approach that you can apply to your offense to not only simplify your offense, but in fact expand the offense once you get into the system. Okay, so the whole impetus behind why I wanted to bring a system like that, when I started in the States, I remember having an offense where a play call would be, for example, right 22, open, gun, 615, Y stick. Now in the U.S., with kids who have 5 days a week to practice this, 5 days a week to memorize this, and nothing better to do with their time, you can pick this up, not a problem. But as I've found in my years coaching in Europe, throughout Europe, is you have kids who have maybe a couple hours a week, maybe don't have enough time to put their full effort into football, and by doing so, having terminology that is this complicated and this memory intensive becomes a burden. So what I feel as an American coach coming to Europe or an American coach coaching youth is you need to take all this information and condense it and distill it into its most simplest elements and try to convey this amount of information with as little verbiage as possible. Because the more you simplify your verbiage, eventually that will be able to lead to you expanding on your offense without having to go out of your system. Okay? So the way I start with that, I always start with my formations. A lot of people use variations of this, twins right, twins open right, pro right, whatever you want to do. I don't like having to use more than one word if I don't need to. For me, my formations are mirrored. So if I want to have a right formation, I start with a word that starts with an R. I use, for example, colors. So for me, right 22 open gun, which would be just a simple 2x2 shotgun formation, I just use green. This, to me, gives my receivers, my players, all the information they need, and it gives the players who don't need this information all they need. What I mean by that is my offensive line, they don't care where the receivers are, they don't care where the running back is, they just need to know what the strong side of the formation is. So for them, they hear an R in a word, they know it's a strong right formation, and that automatically triggers in their head what to do in a strong right formation. If I wanted to flip this formation and run the same thing going the other direction, that would be gold. So I pair it, an L, strong left formation. That's all the information that the offensive line needs to know. Then my receivers, based on what the pairing is, knows where they're going to line up. Running back always follows the strong side, receivers flop accordingly. By simplifying this, by switching from right 22 open gun to green, you save yourself 2 seconds. And when you start adding all this kind of stuff in later you go, it gets complicated. So shortening it makes it easier. So I've just taken all that and distilled it down to 2 words. Now, another thing I've been seeing, if I want to go trips right, twins right, open right, there's so many different formation pairings, and I see playbooks with 10 pages of formations. And I think there's got to be a simpler way to do that. So the way I do it is I have my base formation, and that tells all my players where to initially line up. Okay, and I have my X receiver, my H receiver, my B back, my Y receiver, and my Z receiver. So they know in green, this is where they line up. If I want to move one guy, let's say I want to put my H, who is in my system basically a second running back, into the backfield. If I want to put him here, instead of coming up with a new name, right 21 open gun, I just put a tag on it. So I just call this load. And I can use this tag for any receiver alignment that I want. I could go have my trips alignment, I could have bunch alignments, whatever. But by using a tag with the formation, not only am I adding, I am basically multiplying. So I can use this tag in any formation that I have to move one guy. The X receiver, the Y receiver, and the Z receiver, they don't need to know anything different. The running back doesn't need to know anything different. The linemen don't need to know anything different. The only person who needs to know what's different is the guy who the tag applies to. And you can have tags that apply to everybody. So however much you want to expand on it, you can keep it within a system. In my offense, for example, I've got 6 tags that I can use to move players in and out of the backfield and to adjust people in the backfield. Only the people who need to know the information will need to know it. The linemen don't need to know any difference, anything like that. So, by simplifying your formations, you can then multiply your formations without having to spend lots of needless time learning new formations. And again, you don't have to fill up 10 pages worth of space in your playbook with formations. You just need to know the base alignment and the tag. However many tags you want to use, that's up to you. Okay, so that's with the formation. So I've just taken right 22 open gun and condensed it to green. Okay? Simple.